Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank you for calling this very important hearing with the GAO on its recently released 2023 high-risk list. For more than 30 years, GAO has released this list at the beginning of each Congress. The report identifies key areas where we need to ensure that the federal government works effectively for the American people and not effectively against us. So the report's been a North Star for government efficiency, illuminating a path forward for Congress and the executive branch to better serve the needs and the priorities of the American people. I want to thank Comptroller General Gene Dodaro for testifying before the committee today and for his extraordinary 50 years of exemplary service of the people at GAO. That's a half-century committed to the American people. I want to echo the chairman in saying that GAO's independent, nonpartisan work is critical to the mission of efficient government, serving the public and rooting out waste of taxpayer money, financial fraud, and self-dealing abuses of power. GAO plays a pivotal role in this process. The list identifies the areas of federal operations most in need of transformation and improvement. Every 2 years, GAO rates progress or backsliding from the last report and makes specific recommendations for executive branch agencies and Congress where we can make progress. The recommendations save American taxpayers billions of dollars, improve service to the public, and strengthen government performance. Since 2006, the financial benefit of addressing these high-risk areas has totaled a jaw-dropping $675 billion. Let me repeat that. Addressing the high-risk areas has provided taxpayers $675 billion in financial benefits. If Ben Franklin was right that a penny saved is a penny earned, that's $675 billion earned to the American people, an amount 100 times more, I observed this morning, more than 100 times more than Fox is going to have to pay Dominion for what just happened there. So investing in our federal operations, in oversight, in leadership, in practical solutions, and in resources yields extraordinary concrete benefits to the American people, including better customer service, a more efficient government, and these billions of dollars in savings. The 2023 list highlights 37 areas across the federal government that are at greatest risk today of waste, fraud, and mismanagement, and that need broad structural reform. When we look at the 2021 high-risk list, 16 high-risk areas saw improvements and 2 were removed from the high-risk list entirely. According to GAO, this is the most progress made by Congress and the government since GAO started issuing the ratings 8 years ago. Progress can be seen in directly improved services to the public and in the agency's enhanced ability to achieve their missions. This is tangible evidence of the Biden-Harris administrations and the Democratic majority's commitment to work for the American people and deliver meaningful results over the last Congress. While we're encouraged by the progress outlined in this year's report, there's much more work to be done, of course. Since 2021, 1 high-risk area regressed and 3 new problem areas were added. This is a reminder that we have to do more to hold the agencies accountable. We hope the majority and our colleagues on both sides of the aisle will work together to implement lasting solutions. This means we must ensure continuing key investments in our operations and implementation of policy changes. This public philosophy must take precedence over the suddenly fashionable drive to dismember our country's critical programs, including the social safety net, healthcare, science, education, climate, energy, labor, research, and oversight itself, as outlined in the short-sighted, penny-wise, and pound-foolish debt ceiling proposal. The so-called Limit, Save, Grow Act, better known as the Default on Our Debt Act, would make destabilizing and indiscriminate across-the-board cuts of an estimated 22% to most agency budgets, plunging the government into uncertainty and triage mode without the resources to continue making improvements in the high-risk areas. These slash-and-burn cuts proposed by House Republicans threaten to reverse dramatic progress made in the high-risk areas and make many of our problems worse. They would undermine the crucial progress we've made towards addressing the skills gap in the workforce, defund our work to protect the nation from devastating cyber attacks, pit safety and efficiency against each other in our transportation systems, slow down Social Security checks, and cause significant reductions in the number of people served by affordable housing programs. And this is the tip of the iceberg. These cuts would even eliminate millions of dollars in funding for oversight of pandemic aid and for the oversight work that the Comptroller General is here to tell us about today, oversight work that we all claim to value so much. Members in this hearing room cannot say that they want the federal government to best serve the American people and then walk over to the Capitol to vote for a bill that will totally frustrate this goal. One agency official stated the cuts would, quote, cause significant damage to national security, economic competitiveness, American jobs, disaster preparedness, and the natural environment. Instead of implementing widespread cuts that would halt most of the gains made on high-risk areas between 21 and 23, executive branch agencies in Congress need to believe in the value that comes from a well-functioning federal government, a government that serves everyone. Executive branch agencies in Congress must commit to addressing hundreds of open GAO recommendations to bring about the lasting corrective solutions we need to the remaining 37 high-risk areas. Persistent and prudent congressional oversight and thoughtful legislative solutions are essential to achieve greater progress. Mr. Chairman, I look forward to working with you on making that happen. I yield back.